Good morning. I'm Shawn Perry, host of Washington, D.C.'s #1 radio program for the 50-plus community, the Senior Zone. You know, for several years, AARP Maryland has worked with nearly 25 partners around the state, including the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Maryland Attorney General, the Maryland Comptroller, the Department of Human Services, and Department of Financial Regulation, along with the Consumer Credit Counseling Services of Maryland, and even the FBI, as well as a coalition of other county-level organizations on this annual Protect Week initiative. The effort consists of a week-long statewide push intentionally taking place the same week as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Why? To raise awareness around the issue of elder financial exploitation. This year, Protect Week runs from Sunday, June 13th through Friday, June 18th. And AARP Maryland has worked tirelessly with key partners to schedule multiple virtual events next week, including teletown halls, a virtual press conference, radio and TV ads, radio interviews, as well as multiple social media interviews. In an effort to obtain a variety of perspectives, resources, and to build a consistent drumbeat around this issue, we are chatting with experts around the state to discuss their organization's efforts to combat these despicable crimes. Today, we are thrilled to hear from one of the key players on combating fraud against older adults, the United States Department of Justice. Evelyn Cusson is the Assistant U.S. Attorney at the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Maryland, and she is here today to discuss gift card scams. Evelyn, if I may call you Evelyn, welcome.
Hi there. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's just kick it off and get started for the sake of time. We want to protect our older adults on a high level, a 30,000-foot level, if you will. What are gift card scams?
Shawn, gift card scams are any scam where the fraudster, the scammer, asks the victim to pay with a gift card. We see gift cards being used in all kinds of scams: government imposter, tech support, romance scams. And the common theme is that the fraudster is asking the victim to go buy a gift card, to get it quickly, and to read them those gift card numbers over the phone.
Gotcha. And so those are gift card scams. Are there particular types of scams more specific to older adults when it comes to gift cards?
Sure. We see government imposter scams, particularly involving the Social Security Administration, where someone pretends to be calling from the Social Security Administration and they claim your Social Security number has been compromised, or they claim your benefits are going to be discontinued. You need to pay a fee, and the way you can do that is by buying a gift card. Another example of a fraud, particularly geared towards seniors, would be these very sad grandparent scams, where scammers will call on the phone and say, your grandson, your granddaughter has been arrested, or they've been kidnapped, and you need to pay money right now to keep them safe. And they say, go to the store, get a gift card, send that money over the phone. So those are just a couple of these different types of scams that we see where gift cards are in use. And really, scammers love gift cards, Shawn, because the money is very difficult to trace. You don't have the same protections that you do if you were using a credit card or a debit card.
So now that's when we are asked to go purchase a gift card for someone to pay a bill or something along that nature. What happens when we receive gift cards? Are we at risk of any scam there?
Well, that's a great point. So one of the things that I always say is that gift cards are for gifts, not for payments. So it's great to give or receive a gift card as a gift at a holiday or for a special occasion. The real red flag is when someone says, you owe this money and you need to pay a debt with a gift card. That should get everyone's antennas perked up and thinking there's something not right here.
Gotcha. And I'm glad you highlighted that distinction there. And that's why I asked that question. For the sake of time, what are some of the signs that you are at risk of being scammed at the point of sale?
This is a great question. And I think it's important both for listeners in terms of protecting themselves and then also being aware when you're out in the community so that you can do something to potentially prevent this from happening. So I think that the biggest sign is a large purchase. Someone who's asking to purchase a gift card in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That's a sign that this is not for a legitimate purpose. Another sign is that the person is trying to make the purchase and they're on the phone. This is a tool that we see scammers use. They stay on the phone with the victim while they're purchasing the gift card to continue to pressure them, to keep that pressure on, and then to get the gift card number and the code on the back right away. So if a person is on the phone while they're trying to buy a gift card for a big amount, those are two good signs that there is something amiss. Another example would be that the person seems scared or confused because they've been told that they need to pay this money and that they need to pay it quickly, that they could be arrested or that a loved one has been kidnapped. Of course, scammers try to create this pressure and this fear, and they use that to their advantage. And so if you see something like this at a store, tell a manager or call the police. We know that a third party stepping in could prevent that victim from losing their money.
Yeah. I say to my listeners on my show, Evelyn, all the time, particularly when it's an unsolicited phone call, a phone call that you did not make, and you're feeling pressured, right? Hang up. Even if you have to be rude, right? Hang up just to avoid being scammed, and then make the call back. If it was the Social Security Administration, you call the Social Security Administration and then find out if they were trying to reach you in the first place. Something along that line. But great stuff. What other advice do you have for folks who are just trying to protect, their family, their friends, their loved ones from being a victim of gift card scams?
Well, I think that those are great tips, Shawn, to be wary when you receive these unsolicited phone calls. And along those lines, to not trust your caller ID. So often, scammers can make their phone number look like it's coming from a trusted source, like the Social Security Administration, like the Internal Revenue Service. Here's another example that happened just recently over the past couple of weeks. Our office, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland, had to issue a warning and alert to the public because our main phone number was being used by scammers. They were spoofing that number and calling people and asking them to pay debts related to criminal debts or student loan debts. And so they were spoofing the main number of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland. And so really no one is immune from this. And it's very important that you do not trust your caller ID. If you get a call out of the blue, that's exactly right. Hang up. Don't be afraid to be rude. Call back. If you think that you have a concern with a legitimate government agency, call them back and find out for yourself.
Good stuff, Evelyn. Two more questions for you. What is, in your opinion, the number one tip? If you have more than one, that's great. The number one tip you can give our listeners when it comes to gift cards?
The number one tip is to remember that gift cards are for gifts, not for payments. Giving a gift, using a gift card may be a good idea, but just remember that if someone is asking you to pay a debt, a legitimate business, a government agency, they're just not going to ask you to do that with a gift card. I think the other tip is something we've touched on all along. If someone is calling you, pressuring you to pay money, saying that a loved one has been kidnapped, hang up, call that loved one. If they say you owe money to the IRS, gather the information that you need, call the service and find out. You have to be proactive and just not trust these types of unsolicited calls. And with respect to gift cards, don't use them to pay money.
Yeah, good stuff. Last question. What do you do if you feel you've been scammed with a gift card?
That is a great question, and I'm so glad that you brought it up. The Department of Justice has a hotline dedicated for scams such as this that target seniors, and that is the Elder Fraud Hotline. You can Google the Elder Fraud Hotline, and you'll be able to find that number. It is Fraud 11.
Good stuff. Fraud 11s.
Let me, and you know what, Shawn, let me just make sure that I'm giving out the right information, because I would hate to give out the wrong phone number.
It's important. It's worth waiting for, Evelyn. So take your time.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, go ahead.
It is 833 fraud 11. Again, 833 fraud 11. The number spelled out is 833-372-8311. And that number is staffed with qualified people who can take your call, who can direct you to the right resources. It's open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
833 fraud 11. I just learned something myself, Evelyn. Evelyn, time has expired for us, nearly expired. Any last remarks before I have to let you go, or anything that bears repeating?
Well, I just want to thank you, Shawn, for having me today. I am so excited to be a part of Protect Week. There are a number of great events, as you mentioned, to provide information and outreach, good resources to help you and your loved ones protect themselves against fraud. And you can go to protectweek.org for a listing of those events.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Evelyn Cusson. She's the Assistant U.S. Attorney at the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Maryland. We've been discussing gift card scams. Evelyn, thank you for coming and participating in this year's Protect Week.
Thank you so much, Shawn. Take care.
Okay. Folks, the clearinghouse for all things related Protect Week is www.protectweek.org. Here you can learn more about prevention strategies and where to get help. Let's together keep our elders, our vulnerable older adults, free from abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. Have a great day.